Yes, sir. So we have in our class Saurabh, Sanya, Aditya, Ankit, Arpan, Ayush, Janvi, Jamima, Ishpreet, Navya, Neha, Pritam, Raghav, Sambhav, Sarvansh, Shreya, Tushar, Vanshika, and Vatsal. Yes, Saurabh, you have some question to ask?
Yes, sir. Actually, there's a problem. One of my friend won't be able to give the presentation today. So me and Navya will give up if that's
Why
okay.
is not able to give?
So actually, Meghna's grandfather expired yesterday.
Oh God, so sorry. No problem. No problem. So Sanya, you have something?
Sir, I was
Sanya?
just asking whether you received my quiz for our topic or not.
Okay, that I have to look into. I have to see
Okay,
it.
sir.
We'll get back to you on that. Don't worry.
Okay,
Right?
sir.
Yeah, fine. So Asta, continue.
Yes, so can I start the presentation?
Yeah, surely.
Okay, sir.
Janvi has not yet joined.
So she has joined.
She's there, sir.
She's there. Yeah, Janvi.
Sir,
Okay, I'm making her also a
yes, sir.
presenter. Yeah, Janvi is also a presenter now. Okay, fine. So carry on with your presentation. Great.
Okay, so should we start?
Yeah, surely. Make it a full screen.
Yes, sir.
So three of you can make your three of you can unmute yourself, and we can keep on discussing the things in between. So yes, carry on.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to present on the following topics. First topic is a small company. Second topic is the authentication of documents, proceedings, and contracts. Our third topic is subsidiary companies, and our fourth topic is remuneration.
Begin a bit louder, please.
Okay, sir. Before starting this presentation, I would say that if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt us. We're happy to answer questions as we go along.
Yeah, that will
Now,
be good if we keep on interrupting the presenters in between by raising the hands. Okay, then let the presenters ask them that who wants to ask anything. So you can just raise your hands and at that time, and let me see how do you interact in the class. Rest of the people, those who are the listeners, I will be observing that how do you interact with the presenters today. Okay, so and please mind everyone is having a dignity, and everyone, if you will give respect, you will get respect, right? So mind that while you will be interacting with anyone and everyone over here, right? So
yes,
and
sir.
please keep aside your personal grudges if there is any. Though I understand that there is no grudge at all because your class is a very beautiful and very good class. So right. So I hope I'm clear about my thought process. So Astha and Abhigyan and Janvi, you may continue with your topics in the way you want.
Yes. So now I'll call Astha. She will be explaining for the first topic, that is small companies.
Fine.
So I'm going to speak about small companies under Companies Act 2013. We will be looking at the definition, the motive, the features, provision and exemptions. First, the definition. The section 2, subsection 85 of the Companies Act 2013 defines a small company as small company means other than a public company whose paid up share capital does not exceed rupees 50 lakh or such higher amount as may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 10 crore rupees, and the turnover of which as per the profit and loss account for the immediately preceding financial year should not exceed 2 crore rupees or such higher amount as may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 100 crore rupees, providing that nothing in the section shall apply to a holding company, a subsidiary company, a company registered under Section 8, a company or a body corporate governed by any special act. Now, in the next slide, I've just elaborated the definition by saying that a small company needs to satisfy two conditions. First is that the paid up share capital should not exceed 50 lakh rupees, and the turnover as per the profit and loss account of the immediately preceding year should not exceed 2 crore rupees. Now, the motive behind this, The small companies are supposed to be the backbone of the economy, and the stringent provisions of the Companies Act 2013 are basically designed for the large companies for their better administration and management. Now, compliance for each of this provision becomes impractical for small businesses. Therefore, they are exempted and given special provisions. Now, coming to the features of the small company, only a private company can be classified as a small company. A holding company, subsidiary company, charitable company, or a company governed by any special act cannot be classified as a small company. The status of a company as a small company may change year to year. Thus, the benefit
So
given in
Asta,
a
it means that a subsidiary company and holding company both cannot be classified as a small company.
yes, sir,
Subsidiary
these are
company
the
and
four categories of the companies which cannot be classified as a small
include holding
company.
and subsidiary both.
Yes, sir.
So it means that a company cannot be, a small company cannot become a subsidiary, or you can say a subsidiary company cannot be a
Yes.
small company, it has to be a big company. So if somebody wants to make a company a subsidiary company and that company is a small company, that it will not get the status of small company as such, but it will become a status of a full company rather.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And because only private company can be classified as a small company, it means that a private company which is a subsidiary of any company cannot be called as a small company, which it will not be coming in the preview of the definition of the small company, and all the benefits which a small company is getting, they will not be getting that benefit. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Carry on.
The status of the small company may change year to year. Thus, the benefits during a particular year may stand to be withdrawn next year, but might be available in the subsequent years. Also,
So
with the
here this is a very big benefit. You see it from a point of view of very big benefit, because sometimes if a small company means, once a small company will not be always a small company. It is having a scope to just be big also, but during some period of time, if the criteria of the threshold which you have just now discussed, the monetary threshold which you have discussed just now in the previous slides, if that is not fulfilled, for example, maybe just in the case of recently the pandemic has happened. So in the case of pandemic itself, a subsidiary company or any other company which was not a small company before can also become a small company and save itself from all the liabilities which a small company, which a big company is having, right? So because small company is having a less eye of law, if you see it point of view, because in order to promote the certain things, the concept of small company has come up. And if the small company is also having the equal compliances as that of the other large company, then there is no question of having the small company at all. So these small companies are from time to time may exempt, means any company can convert itself to a small company, or you can say it can shrink the scope. It can shrink the scope to just to be a small company, and afterwards when the things are over, it can also increase the its scope to be a large company and act accordingly. Okay, Asta, is it am I correct?
yes, yes, sir.
Fine. So
So yes,
that's the way how the government has given a lot of flexibility for business to grow in India. So that's why if you see it from the point of view of ease of doing business in India, the India has galloped its rank means it has come forward, and the way of doing business in India, the ease of doing business in India has improved by the time, if you see the entire world's companies as such. Okay. Fine. Continue, Asta.
yes. With the gradual growth of business, if company crosses any of the thresholds, that is the paid up share capital exceeds 50 lakh rupees or the turnover exceeds 2 crore rupees, then the company must give up the status of the small company, also the benefits that are being granted to such companies. Now, earlier in the company's law, this in the definition, the both of the or was given, which means that either the paid up share capital should not exceed 50 lakh rupees or the turnover should not exceed 2 crore rupees. But now the or word has been substituted with the word and. Both of the conditions need to be fulfilled to become to be to be given as a status of small company.
So Asta, please tell, is it good or bad?
I guess it is good.
Huh? Yes, come on. Asta, just think it from the point of view of if you had a small company and you have to go with the compliances, then is it good or bad?
So I guess it is good.
It is?
It is good for the company.
Yeah. Now explain how it is good. Very good.
So it might be that the turnover is crossing the 2 crore rupees, but the paid up share capital is still less.
Very good. So still, if the turnover still exceeds 2 crores and the paid up share capital is less, then still you are not in the preview of being a large company. Means you are still in the preview of being a small company and the other things will be less.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
Right or
look
not?
at this. Yes. Sir.
So
Now look.
how it will help and how it is good for the economy, Asta. What the people will now do is that now what the people will do, even in a small capital, they will try to, you know,
Maximize the
try
turnover.
to increase their turnover. Previously, what happened? People do not used to try to increase their turnover. Why? Because if they will increase their turnover, what will happen? They will,
Then they will have
yeah,
to give up this status.
they will go out of the preview of the small companies and all the compliances will be applicable on them. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Now what happens? Now this will help the economy also. Suppose we are having a share capital less and we are producing more. Then what will happen? It is actually we are crossing the efficiency. We have raised the bar of the efficiency. And as we have raised the bar of the efficiency, the GDP will grow. Ultimately, what is going to happen? The national income will grow. All those people who are the stakeholders of that particular small company will also grow. Okay, so this is good that it has been replaced from or to and. Just one word has actually made the scope unlimited for a company to proceed further. Okay, Asta?
Yes, sir.
Great. So each and every point you can just think. Yeah, Saurabh is having some question.
So I just want to know about something. There are MSMEs which are launched by governments. So are small company part of those?
Yeah, can be. If the MSME is small and medium sized companies, see MSME is a word which is an economic term. It is not a legal term. In
Okay,
legal
sir.
term, we have this small companies as such. So if MSME is, though it is, if it is within the threshold, it can be a small company also. No problem in that.
So they can use all those exemptions which MSMEs get. Small companies use all those
Yeah,
exemptions.
they will additionally get exemption in the Companies Act also.
Okay, sir.
Because MSMEs previously they do not used to get exemption because this concept of small company was not there. Okay, so as the concept of small company is also here now, these MSMEs will also get the all those exemptions which they were getting as a MSMEs from the economic point of view, from the taxation point of view, they keep on getting. And from the point of view of small company, there are certain exemptions which are given from the company law point of view, the compliances which they have to do less. So these all things will be there from that point of view. Okay, Saurabh?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, carry on, Asta, please.
Yes. Next are the special provisions and the exemption given to small companies. First is signing of annual return. The annual return of a small company can be signed by the company secretary alone, or if there is no company secretary, a single director can also do that. The second is board meeting. Now, a small company can hold only 2 board meetings in a year instead of fulfilling the requirement of 4 board meetings like other companies. A small company has to hold 1 board meeting in each half of the calendar year with a minimum gap of 90 days between the 2 meetings. Then the financial statement, if we look at the definition given under the section 2, subsection 40 in the Companies Act about the financial statement, that then it includes the cash flow statements also. But it specifically excludes the requirement of cash flow statements for the small company, 1-person company and dormant company. The next is the rotation of auditor. As we have previously studied that the provision regarding mandatory rotation of the auditor or the maximum term is supposed to be 5 years for the individual and 10 years for the firm of auditors. But this provision is not applicable for small companies as per the section 139 subsection 2 of Companies Act 2013.
Now, what is this rotation of auditor means? Why this section 139(2) was inserted? Any one of you in the class? Any one of you? Why this particular section has been inserted regarding rotation of the creditor? What was the use of it? Why it has been? Previously, it was not there. It has come only after the Act of 2013. Any one of you, please. Yes, carry on. Come on. Anyone? Yes, Sanya?
Yes, sir. So auditing in a large firm is necessary because there are so many, you can say, accounts or provisions or so many creditors that need to be audited so that the share can be monitored.
Yeah.
Because since it's a large company, the transparency.
It is a large company or small company. What is the purpose of auditing? That's what I want to ask you.
So transparency.
What type of transparency?
So an auditor can give his or her review about the company or how he thinks the company is performing or how clear the books are in front of him. So that can be an auditor's report can help the shareholders of a company to know exactly what they're investing in. So it creates a sort of like a transparency between the shareholders and the company via the auditor's report.
Very good. So
And,
actually auditing is required. Let me use this harsh language in order to know whether there is any embezzlement or not.
Yes, sir.
घोटाला घपला तो नहीं हुआ है. Okay. After 2013, why this particular rotation of auditor has come into picture? Yes, Tanya.
So because if an auditor is working for a term which is for example longer than 5 years or 10 years, maybe 12, 20, 12, 15 years, then
Tanya,
that auditor.
the case of Satyam Limited.
Yes, sir.
Satyam Limited के बारे में सुना है आपने? What happened?
Sir, a little bit. I mean,
Satyam
not
Limited
that clear.
Got victimized just because of the scam done by the auditors.
Yes, sir.
The auditors emblazed. Actually, they allowed the emblazment, and it happened, and it was out in 2008 and 9. Then afterwards, again one more scam happened regarding this Vijay Mallya. Okay, and then we came up with this Companies Act 2013, and accordingly, the provisions of rotation of auditor came into picture only after that. So that if one auditor has done something wrong, the other auditor may actually object it. Okay, so the things may not prolong so long. Okay, so that is the reason. Fine. So in the small companies itself, when we are doing, then these things are not at all means because the amount to be emblazed will be smaller. It will not be having that much impact. So that's why. And further, in order to just give an exemption, these small companies can have auditors for longer period of time also. That is the reason. Very well tried, Sanya. And I'm seeing that who else will be participating. Keep on participating. Good. Asta, continue. Any other question? Anyone else? Fine. Continue, Asta. Great.
So the
Good.
next is the matters to be included in board's report. Small companies are exempted from the matters to be included in board's reports as per Rule 8 of Companies Rules 2014. Next is the internal financial control. A small company is not required to provide the report on the adequacy of internal financial control or its operating effectiveness in the auditor's report. Next is the lesser penalties for small companies under Section 446B of Companies Act 2013. This is that if a small company fails to comply the provisions that are Section 92(5), Section 117(2), and Section 137(3), such company and the officer in default of company shall be liable for the penalty, but the amount shall not be more than half of the penalty specified in each of these sections.
What is given under these sections? Asta?
Sir, I didn't see about that.
Sorry?
Sir, I didn't look what was given under this.
Asta.
Yes, sir, I should have.
See, what the thing is, these sections are regarding the penalties. Okay, various penalties under the Companies Act. Okay,
Yes.
what you can do is, Janvi and Abhigyan, if you can Google around these sections and come up with certain things, you can just let us know about these sections. Meanwhile, Asta is presenting.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
So that's what is a teamwork. Whenever something is asked, okay, and your team member is in problem, you should support. Okay. Carry on, Asta. No problem.
Next is professional certification for e-forms to be filled with MCA as per the Rule 812 of companies. The e-forms filled by the small companies are not required to be pre-certified by a chartered accountant or a company secretary, or as the case may be, the cost accountant. Now, Janvi will conclude the topic of the small company.
And meanwhile, you will find out what were there in those sections.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Janvi, continue.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So the conclusion of small company is that small company is not specifically registered as a small company. A company falling under the limits of capital and turnover as prescribed will automatically cover under the category of small company and can avail the exemptions and privileges it is entitled to. Therefore, a private limited company may be called a small company immediately after its incorporation, subject to conditions provided above. The promoters and directors are generally unaware of eligibility status of small company and the benefits being given to them. Hence, it is necessary to them to be aware of such provisions to claim the beneficial position.
Very good.
The next topic is authentication of documents, proceeding
Before you
and
go to the next
contracts.
topic, I hope it is being understood by everyone. And if you have any question, please raise your hands. No questions from any one of you? Janvi, if you want, you can ask some questions to some of your classmates so that they can answer.
So not now.
Yeah, Janvi, you will not ask, I know, because if you will ask, they will also ask you.
No, sir, it's not like that.
It's not like that?
No, sir.
Then ask someone. Yes, come on. If you have some question to ask.
Shashpreet.
Yeah, Ispreet. Are you there?
Sir, actually, I am not.
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Hello.
Janvi wants to ask you something.
Sir, actually, I was driving, but yes, you can ask.
Okay. So, Janvi, any question to Ispreet? He is driving still, he is listening to you. He wants to answer your question.
Can you tell me the conclusion of small company?
Yes, Ispreet.
Conclusion as in?
is like I have
What is
already
a small
stated now.
company, Preet?
So the small company is a company having a turnover less than 2 crores and paid up share capital of less than 50 lakh rupees.
Excellent. Janvi, is he correct?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else you want to ask?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, continue.
Yes, sir. The next topic is authentication of documents, proceeding, and contracts. Now we will look at the definition which is given under Companies Law 2013. As per Section 21 of Indian Companies Act 2013, the preceding documents and contracts should be signed by the key managerial person or a person authorized by the board of directors of a company. Provision in the Indian Companies Act 2013 regarding the authentication of documents, proceedings, and contracts is as under. Save as otherwise provided in this Act, a document or proceeding requiring authentication by a company, contracts made by or on behalf of a company may be signed by any key managerial personnel or an officer of company duly authorized by a board in this behalf. Now we will look
why
at.
it is to be signed by KMPs?
So, because we need to authenticate the contract now. That's
No,
why.
why you want to get it authenticated only by KMPs? Because we want to make them responsible. Okay.
Yes.
So whosoever will be signing the document will be responsible for in all the means.
Yes.
Getting
Yes.
or not getting?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Because we have studied the officer in default, which was presented in the last class by Shreya and her team. And in
Yes,
that
sir.
in that particular presentation, we concluded that it is very, very necessary for an officer to be held responsible for certain acts of the company itself. Otherwise, everyone will, shed their responsibilities, and
Yes.
nobody can be held responsible. So that's why these KMPs only after passing a resolution have to sign the document. Fine, continue.
Now we will look at the comparison between Companies Law 1956 and Companies Law 2013. The authentication of documents and contracts was given under Section 54 in 1956 in Companies Law 1956, and it is replaced by Section 21 in Companies Law 2013. Contract made by or on behalf of a company and authentication of documents were not separated in Companies Law 1956, but in Companies Law 2013, authentication of documents and contracts made by a company are separated. Now, Abhigan will explain you the next topic.
Very good. Excellent presentation, and you have compared it with the previous acts also, that what was there before and what is there now. That actually makes a good sense. Very good, Janvi. A good presentation by you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Subsidiary companies. So
Yes.
what does subsidiary companies means? So anyone want to try what does subsidiary company means?
Yeah, anyone from you, what is a subsidiary company? You can hide the definition meanwhile. Anyone? Ayush Botra? Arpan? Jamima, would you like to try the definition of what subsidiary company is? Subsidiary company is a bacha company. Holding company is a papa company. I told you this before also. Navya Singh. Hey, meanwhile, you can Google around here. Sambhav Garg, Sarvan Sinha, Shahid Chauhan, Shara, at least you can say.
Okay, sir, I will explain. Okay.
Okay, you continue.
In layman's language, a subsidiary is a company that belongs to another company, which is usually referred to as a parent company or holding company. So like subsidiary companies, while defining subsidiary companies, it's a relative term. So we have to explain both the holding companies and we have to use all the subsidiary company also. We have to explain it with the holding companies. So definition is under section 2, subsection 87 of Companies Act 2013. defines a subsidiary company as a subsidiary company or subsidiary in a relation to any other company. That is to say, the holding company means the company in which the holding of a company controls the composition of board of directors or exercises or controls more than one half of the total share capital, either at its own share or together with one or more of its subsidiary companies. So what does the composition of board of director mean? So I will explain this with the help of example. Uh, like suppose there are two companies, A and B. B is a subsidiary companies. So like suppose B has 10 directors, then the company A will have majority in the board of directors. That is, the A company will be having 6 to 9 directors in the B company. Then A will be called holding company and B will be called subsidiary companies. So provided then there's also limit, like in India there is limit of having 2 layers of subsidiary companies. Anyone knows why there's limit over having
You can a bit slower, my dear. Thoda dheere dheere.
Okay, sir. Anyone have an idea why there is limit over layers of subsidiary companies? Like what's the main reason of having layers?
Vanshika is logged off. Yes, Chaudhary. Yes, Chaudhary. Shreya, would you like to say this? Shreya?
Sir, I'm not sure of the answer, sir.
It's okay, dear. Nobody is sure of anything. No problem. Trying is the best thing. Come on.
Abhigyan, could you please repeat the question?
Okay, the question is why there is limit over having layers in subsidiary companies in India.
Don't know, sir.
It's okay, fine. Yeah, Abhigyan, you tell.
Okay, so the main reason of having limit is like mainly subsidiaries companies in India created for money laundering, so that the transactions are not recorded.
Very good.
So like in India there is limit of having 2 layers, and it cannot have more than 2 layers of subsidiary companies.
Fine, because this has been misused before. After 2013, there is a stringent, there is a strict, you can say, what do you call is, there's a strict compliances and strict laws regarding this.
Yes, sir, that it will not be easy to track the transactions, like if there are more
Yes.
companies in there.
Yeah.
Sir, can you like skip to next slide? Yeah. Subsidiary companies is the subsidiary company is the company in which holding company holds 50% or more total share capital or exercises control of board. And if the company is holding more than 20% of total share capital, then it will be called associate company and it will not be called subsidiary company.
Okay, it means that associate company can be a subsidiary cannot be associate. Is it so?
No, sir. Like it's like a holding company. It will not be called holding company. It will be associate company.
No, which will not be called as a holding company.
Sir, in which associate company is there? Sir, because holding company is
holding 50% of the share capital. It is more than 20%. So subsidiary company will be called associate company also.
Yes, sir.
So you can say it like this, Abhigyan, that as soon as this particular total share capital or the controlling thing is less than 50%, it will still be associate company. But as soon as it will reach 50%, it will become a subsidiary company. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And as soon as one company is having its control over other company more than 20%, the other company becomes a associate company. But this associate company will remain associate till, and it will not become holding till this 20% reaches 50%. As soon as it reaches 50% or more, then it will be called as a subsidiary company. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you should have this type of interpretation should be there in order to, when you are giving a presentation. Anyways, you are presenting excellently well. Carry on.
So now we'll come to the next topic, that is remuneration. Basically, remuneration is the money paid for work or services. As per Section 2, subsection 78 of Companies Act 2013, remuneration defined as any money or its equivalent given or passed to any person for services rendered by him and includes perquisites as defined under Income Tax Act 1961. So, like there's a definition over this, any money paid in the form of or by any name to a director for services rendered by him will amount to remuneration, and any benefit provided by company to the director will amount to remuneration, and monetary equivalent will have to be included in remuneration of directors.
Yeah. Carry on, carry on.
Ask the next slide, please. So there's a table of how much remuneration will a company will provide to.
Restriction. If the company is agreeing to pay its director more than a certain limit, why there is so much of restriction?
Sorry, sir. What's the question, sir?
My question is that why this 11%, 10% is there?
Sir, because there are other.
If its director 50% of the net profit as a remuneration, what's wrong in that?
Sir, because there are other costs also, like apart from having paying remuneration, there are other costs also involved in company.
Now the answer is, sir, it can be done, but only in case of private company, not in case of public companies, because public companies, the public money is substantially involved. And because it's a public company, then this is one of the big restriction which is there. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Carry on.
So there's a condition if a company is having one managing director, whole-time director manager, then maximum remuneration in a financial year would be 5%. If it is having more than one managing director, whole-time director or manager, then the maximum remuneration in the financial year is 10% of the net profits of the company. And then overall limit of the on manager remuneration is 11% of the net profits of the company. And if there are no directors or the whole-time directors, then there would be 1% of net profits of the company if there is managing director, and if there is no managing director, then there will be 3% of net profits of the company.
Fine.
And suppose the company is making losses, if it's not having inadequate profits, then there is a limit of paying remuneration. That is, if the company is having 5 crore losses, then it can pay only 60 lakhs to managers on yearly remuneration. And if the company is having 5 crores and but less than 100 crores, then it can give 84 lakhs as a yearly remuneration to the managers and directors. And if the company is having 100 crores and above 100 crores and less than 250 crores, then the yearly remuneration cannot be more than 120 lakhs. And if the company is having losses of 250 crores and above, then it cannot give yearly remuneration of 120 lakh plus 0.01% of the effective capital in excess of 250 crores.
Fine. Good.
With this, we have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you, sir, for providing this opportunity.
Excellent presentation by Astha, Bigyan and Janvi Singh. And I hope we have learned many things about it. So what about any question if you have, if you have any
so should I just tell what was given under the penalties?
Yeah.
That
Please,
we had?
please. Very good. Very good. That's very good.
So the section 92, subsection 5, under this it is given that if a company fails to file its annual return, then the officer who is in default has to pay a penalty of 50,000 rupees. And the section 117(2) states that if they fail to file the resolution or the agreement, then the penalty is 10,000 rupees. And the last section, which is the section 137(3), it says that if they do not file the copy of the financial statement before the expiry period, then they have to pay the penalty of 10,000 rupees.
Okay, so in the case of small company, this penalty amount is half.
Half. Yes.
Yeah, so that is a benefit. But people actually, even is this half is also too much. So normally it has not been violated, but still, yeah, there is a benefit. One or the other way. Yeah. Anyone else you want to contribute or you want to ask something? Otherwise, let me conclude. And this was an excellent presentation made by the team of Astha, Bigyan and Janvi. And really very, very good. So I hope others are also getting an insight of how to make the presentation, particularly when the online things are there. Right. So very good, three of you, and I hope the others will also, utilize this opportunity to present well. So let me take the attendance and then we will sign off for the day. And what will be the time of your quiz, Astha, today?
So 1:30 to 1:45.
1:30 to
1:45.
Fine. So how I will be able to get the marks?
So I will provide you with the Excel sheet of the marks.
Fine. You do one thing, you provide the Excel sheet to Shreya.
Yes, sir.
Shreya, you
Okay.
post it in your in our and because those who will be giving this particular quiz, they will get full marks for sure in that particular quiz. So Shreya, you and your team let the marks be full and other marks be displayed. And Astha Khandelwal and team let the marks be full and other marks be displayed. So everyone will get a chance to, give the presentation, get the full marks once, and let the others do the things, right? And then afterwards we will just see how how we will be able to, just do the marks for the rest of the class, right? Okay, guys. So thank you all of you, and let me take the attendance. Aditya, Ankit, Anshul, please say yes, sir. Aditya, Ankit, Anshul, Arpan Mishra, Ashutosh, Ayush Bothra, Ritik
Yes, sir.
Bhardwaj, Ishpreet Singh Walia,
Yes, sir.
Seema,
Yes, sir.
Agarwal, Naveen Chandlani, Navya Singh,
Yes, sir.
Neha Singh Rathod, Preetam,
Present, sir.
Priyanshi, Raghav Dubey, Sambhav
Present, sir.
Garg, Sanya, Sarwan
Yes,
Sinha,
sir.
Saurabh
Yes,
Yadav,
sir.
Shahid Chauhan, Shara Khan,
Yes, sir.
Priya,
Yes, sir.
Singh Rana, Tushar Khandelwal, Vanshika, Vatsal Rastogi, Yash Chaudhary,
Yes,
and
sir.
Harshvardhan
Yes,
Tiwari.
sir.
Present, sir.
Fine, guys. So have a nice time, have a nice day. And who will be presenting tomorrow, Shreya?